Hello. Hey, good to see you. So it's that time of the year, December, close to our end of year, whatever it is, end of year party, whatever you may be doing. And one of the things that's been happening with me the last few weeks, as I've just wrapped up, one major project and then had some other stuff that's come up and another ongoing project that I've been waiting to start on, is this idea of of burnout. So you know, burnout is just essentially when you get a number of factors involved that lead to an outcome that's, I guess, negative. We call it burnout because it's kind of like you're not performing at your best. And you know, I've gone through it like twice before, and so I know like when it's kind of creeping up, and it's kind of like generally kind of have a bit more of a down feeling. You're not as enthusiastic. Things aren't you know happening as fast. You're not working as fast. You're not as sharp. And so you know, it's been, I think the last time I kind of went had something like this. It was back in, what was it? I think. Geez. Yeah, look, I've had like different experiences of I guess we call it burnout, right? So one of them way back was probably the worst, and this was where there's just too much stuff going on. I had way too much on. I was trying to run. I wasn't delegating. I was trying to do it all myself, and then I ended up just basically exhausted, like really, really exhausted, and trying to sustain something which wasn't really, I couldn't do it in the way with the strategies that I was working with at the time. And so one of the things that happened was I kind of like took a step back from everything for a while and focused on one project, and everything kind of balanced out. I was able to get that project done. I was happy. Everyone was happy. I moved on to another better position after that. Soon after, the second time was I also had another experience similar where I was just trying to do way too much. I got like this was even worse than the previous time, and then I had to take a year or two, about a year off, and basically take just focus on other stuff. So I didn't even actually worked on personal training, so I didn't even code for about a year and a half, 2 years. And I tried to do a lot of different other stuff, but eventually I got back into coding. I found a good balance where I could code and do everything else that I wanted to do, and it worked really well. So one of the things I learned during that period was, one, how to see things creeping up on you, and two, how to deal with them. Me personally, right? So a really healthy thing for me to do, and was to take a step back and try not to take things so personally, to kind of disconnect from the situation and just learn to brush things off. The other one was to, no matter what, focus on your health first. And I found that running and going to the gym, that was, I think, the most number one important thing that helps level things out. So if I'm doing that, everything else seems to fall into place a lot easier. So one of the things I've noticed is that while I've been here traveling overseas, I've been running, but I haven't gone to the gym. And so I'm losing that aspect of balance. It has made the work a little bit harder. And because I had more to do and I was traveling overseas and I had to balance waking up really early for a long period of time, it kind of it added up. And so basically it's you say in the sense that you get to this point where you kind of like, oh, this is just a little bit harder than it should be. It shouldn't be this difficult to get into something. I should be able to just dive in. There isn't that enthusiasm. But look, at the end of the day also, it is the end of the year, right? So a friend of mine who's been in this industry longer than me has always said that December is like the least productive month of the year. I always kind of think it's January, but it's actually December because everybody's just tired and they just want to go off and do their thing and go and relax. And so I was considering, how much time am I going to take off? So I've decided to drop a number of projects for this month just to not overwhelm myself. So if you're in a situation where you kind of like you're feeling stressed and you are finding it hard to get enthusiastic and you're not really getting into doing what you used to do, you really have to take a step back before it gets to the point where you need to cut everything off. And that happened to me. I had to and I cut everything off because it got to the point where I couldn't even concentrate on one thing at all. Like it had to take 6 months, I think, to a year before I could slowly get in. And the other thing is focus on your health and do, running is a really important aspect for me. Doing physical exercise is really, really important. So guys, if you're into, if you're not into kind of sport, get started, go for walks, start something simple. So, at this time of the year, before we get to Christmas, I just want to say, like, if you're feeling a little bit stressed out, things aren't enthusiastic, take a step back and try to look at where you're at, and get ready to take some time off if you can. Look, regarding other things like, if you need to work because of finances, that's a whole other ball game, right? But if you're working so hard that you're a little bit exhausted, take some time out, and then you can come back into whatever it is you're doing with a fresh head, and you'll be a lot more enthusiastic, guys. Anyway, that's it for today. I will see you next week. Thanks. Bye.